Okay, so I've been pimping my blog as having some serious subjects within it, like science and philosophy, and I've not really done anything to really give you an intellectual heavyweight type take on the world. So I thought I'd make up for that today by giving you my top 10 movie primates. So that's basically what I feel are the top 10 primate animals. So I'm not going to say monkeys. I'm not one of those, like, the people that usually use the word monkey when referring to a primate, like obviously monkeys, but also stuff like the great apes and stuff like that. They're usually the same people who sort of go, "I didn't come from no monkey. If we came from monkeys, why ain't monkeys walking about with smoking pipes and wearing top hats?" Well, actually, I know some places where you can see that, so there, evolution is true. But before that, I thought I'd just go through my top 10 of movie primates, not including, of course, Homo sapiens, because otherwise there'd be at least 2 in this chart. So this is just the non-human primates movie chart, so I've done a lot of research for this. Number 10. Now, number 10 is only here because there are no gorillas in my chart otherwise, because there aren't really any gorillas in films. I don't know why, because chimpanzees are used all the time, and chimpanzees are the animal most likely to bite your face off and rip your arm off and just sort of use your arm as a little toy as it spurts blood everywhere. So I don't understand why that's the case, but gorillas aren't, who are usually seen as quite gentle and have a bad, sort of have a bad image problem. Otherwise, they're sort of not used much. If there is a gorilla, it's usually a gorilla suit or a little animated gorilla. But there is one exception, so that's why it's made it into the top 10. Just some gorillas in the mist, because they did have some real gorillas there. Only using some animatronic gorillas for other scenes, so that Sigourney Weaver didn't get the shit beaten out of her, basically. Number 9. The chimpanzee, now in Octopussy. Chimpanzee in Octopussy. So you might not have noticed this, but there is a little moment where Roger Moore, there's a bomb about to go off in a circus tent, and he realises that everyone's looking for him anyway. He's being chased, so he has to put on a disguise. So he goes into a porter cabin to dress himself up as a clown and defuse a bomb. And just before he goes into the porter cabin, someone's holding onto a chimpanzee, and the chimpanzee sort of goes like that at him, and that's it. But basically that chimpanzee qualifies because he is near Roger Moore. He is involved with Roger Moore, and as we all know, Roger Moore is the greatest primate to have ever walked this earth. Number 9, the baboon in The Fly, who, even though obviously it's animatronic when he gets turned inside out, I think it's more that I feel sorry for the baboon because he has to be cuddled by a naked, sweaty Jeff Goldblum. I feel for you, pal. I feel for you. Number 7. Honorary mention, really. It's the little colobus monkey in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's a cute little monkey, and he's got some good comic timing and stuff. So yeah, he makes it there. Number 6. Now we're getting into the serious runners. Number 6 is Brooke Bond, who is from the famous PG Tips commercial campaign, which featured many dressed up chimpanzees. Brooke Bond was the James Bond advert series, where he got into many adventures where he was a chimpanzee made to, obviously unethically, to dress up as a human and do stupid little human tricks, which people don't do anymore, hooray. But there are also, just to make it a little bit more offensive, there were lots of sort of sexist gags and racial stereotypes, like the baddie Chinese monkey that starts every single sentence he says with "hasaw," which I don't know where that came from. I have no idea where the "hasaw" meme came from. I'm glad it's dead now, but at the same time, the Brooke Bond monkey was very funny. Chimpanzee, sorry, not monkey. Hoisted by my own petard. Number 5, Dunstan from Dunstan Checks In. Quality orangutan actor. The way he coped with Rupert Everett's hamming up of his role was pretty good. He just kept it low key while Rupert Everett chewed up the scenery. So yeah, Dunstan Checks In. Charming little film, although there's something a little bit creepy about the fact that as soon as you stop anthropomorphizing the orangutan, it becomes a little bit creepy, like a kid walking about with a big hairy primate that no one else notices. There's something a bit wrong about it, if you ask me, but still a charming film. Number 4, the chimpanzee from Being John Malkovich, who does some great acting when Cameron Diaz is tied up by her nutty boyfriend played by John Cusack, and he looks at her hands and he sees she's tied up, and then he has a flashback to when he was originally caught in the jungle and him trying to untie the knots of his mum and dad and them saying in chimpanzee language, "Run away, save yourself," and then he gets caught. But the sheer pathos in that chimpanzee's eyes as he looks on at the knots and finally gets past his life's failure and unties the knot is just truly beautiful to behold. And I think also another part when he gets locked up in the same cage as Cameron Diaz by Cusack, he turns around and gives her the monkey kiss. I love the monkey kiss when a chimpanzee turns around and goes like that. When famous world leaders meet to do peace talks, you know they're always doing that whole thing when they have to pat each other on the shoulder, and whoever pats the other one on the back, it's like this sort of male sign language thing where they're sort of saying, you know, no, I'm in charge of you, and they get the upper hand on the handshake. So I think that all world leaders, when signing treaties, should be forced to monkey kiss. So on equal ground, turn around and just go like that. I think that will change the world. Number 3, Hitler Monkey from Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is just like, you know, that one. He was pretty cool. But I think he was a much better colobus monkey actor than the one from Pirates of the Caribbean. The reason why is because even though he turns out to be an evil, two-faced Hitler monkey, he shows a moment of pathos after what's her face allegedly dies in the explosion, and he's just playing with Indy, and he's just sort of doing this little, you know, you could tell there's a bit of emotion there. It showed the sort of the humanity, or I should say the primatity underneath the Nazi's character, you know, which we wouldn't see again until Bruno Gantz's performance in Downfall. Number 2, Clyde. He was obviously from Every Which Way But Loose, who was well known for going like this, like that. He was good. Although I've heard lots of, he would have been number 1. He could have been number 1, but there were 2 Clydes, and they were both meant to have been treated badly and beaten up by their trainer. If Clint knew that, I reckon Clint would have kicked some ass. Which brings us to number 1, Cheetah from the Tarzan movies. Now, he started loads of these films, he started in loads of other films, and he's the oldest living chimpanzee in the world ever recorded. He's in his 70s now. He I saw an exhibition of paintings he did with Peter Blake at the National Gallery, which was fantastic, and they showed 2 portraits, one of Peter Blake looking very serious, and then one of Cheetah also looking very serious. I also remember him for having the biggest testicles in the world in the Tarzan films. I just remember just watching him run around and then just going, look at that bloody chimpanzee's bollocks. They were huge, swinging about, and they were just massive. You know, you're just watching it, and the next moment, even when I was about 9, you know, mine probably hadn't properly dropped yet, but I still thought that chimpanzee has got a big pair of cojones. So that was pretty cool. And I found out actually there's an evolutionary reason that all chimpanzees have very big scrotums, and the reason why is because they live in polygamous societies. They shag each other all the time, therefore you have to be producing a lot of sperm when you're competing with the other males to have offspring. So that's something we didn't know. The gorillas, who are harem animals, they have slightly smaller testicles, and then gibbons, which are monogamous, they have tiny bollocks. Humans are somewhere between monogamous and gorilla harem animals. So therefore, if you get caught with having another wife by the missus, just pull out your scrotum and say, nature told me to do it, you know what I mean. But the chimpanzee Cheetah, he is actually campaigning, this is one last thing, maybe we can all get together on this, he is campaigning to have his own slab on the Walk of Fame. He's been refused many times, you know, and he has behaved for many years and not bitten anyone's face off. I like to think that maybe he'll do it when he finally gets his slab on the Walk of Fame.